ladies.
Good morning.
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you guys. So we are here to talk about the Women's Health and Happiness Fair holistic event for mind, body, and spirit. I have great people with me: Jill Cooke, Jan Hamning, and Dr. Oki-Villareal. Borowski. Ladies, how are you this morning?
Good.
Great to be here.
Yep. Looking forward to this interview. Looking forward to learning from you about this event. And at the end of this interview, too, we'll also put the link in the description for people, the Eventbrite, so folks can purchase tickets or register for the event. I want to read a little bit from it, though. Vendors, speakers, gift bags share elements of mind and body care, including physical health care, relaxation techniques, and mindset improvement. And I also have the calendar or the schedule of events as well. So before we get started, we'll start with each of you ladies. Reintroduce yourselves, talk a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what this event means to you, and how special it is. And Dr. Oki-Villareal Borowski, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Curtis. Well, actually, this was Jill's idea to put the event together, and I'm Dr. Oki-Villareal Borowski. I'm the owner and chiropractor at Health Source Chiropractic in Aurora, and we all kind of have very similar goals for the event and wanting to be able to help women, help them mentally, physically, spiritually, to be able to allow them to have that moment for themselves, because women are always taking care of everybody else, that they don't stop for a second to take care of their own health. So, that's what I specialize in is health and natural healing. So I'm excited to be able to share that component with women at the event.
All right. Okay. Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill Cooke. Thank you, Curtis, for having us. I met these wonderful ladies through a joint networking group, and I fell absolutely in love with them. And we've all been on the same sort of journey, but we have different pieces of the same goal. And it just came together so very beautiful and organically. Whereas Oki concentrates on physical health, natural health, I sort of focus on mindset. And it's an amazing journey that I've been on personally, over 20 years of studying mental health, mental wellness, brain structure, function, and anatomy. And I got really good at knowing all of that. But what I didn't know anything about was neuroplasticity. And it was through some deep pain in our family that I learned about it. And sometimes those are the best lessons, the ones that are the hardest to learn. And so I learned about our own ability to rewrite the programming in our brain. We have that ability. We have our conscious mind, our willpower, which is 5% of our mind. We have 95% of our brain, which is the unconscious, which is what drives 95% of our decisions. But it's only till recently we've discovered that we have the ability to control the subconscious. We've been on autopilot up until the point where functional MRIs have shown that we have the ability to rewrite those neural pathways. So for the past 2 years, I've been studying neuroplasticity, and I just recently completed MIT's Neuroscience for Business, and I cannot be more excited to unlock this for people. It's like when I was a kid, I went to the library, and I used a phone that had a cord. Now we have cell phones and an encyclopedia in our hand and a computer. It's just like that. We never knew the power that we had to control our thoughts and our behavior. Now with technology for the past 10, 15 years, we realize, holy smokes, we have this power. And I'm seeing amazing things happen in people's lives, unlocking that. And so that's where I focus, on helping people unlock that door.
Congratulations on your recent achievement.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's great. Yep. And I'm Jan Hamning, and I started back in 1993 as a massage therapist. And ever since then, I've made that connection that the stress, the chronic pain, repeated injuries are all connected to the emotions that we hold on to. The emotions that don't serve us, the beliefs that probably are not true.
Right.
So I study Eden Energy Medicine, which is working with the energy systems of the body and the emotions. So I bring those into balance by testing the body through kinesiology testing, muscle testing. And so at the fair, and I do EFT tapping, emotional freedom techniques. So I work on that. So at this event, it's great that, Jill is talking about the subconscious. We're driven by the subconscious. So what I'm going to be speaking about is how powerful are our words and thoughts that we have.
Well,
When we
very.
think something, it affects everything around us. It affects the people around us. It affects what happens. And our words, the words that we use, a lot of people walk around and Dr. Oki, you probably realize this, we talk about something and it's like, that's such a pain in the neck. My kid's a pain in the neck. My job's a pain in my boss a pain in the...
Right.
Well, over time, that can affect your neck.
100%.
That can affect other issues in your body. Those words, our subconscious takes those words literally.
Right.
100%.
So I am going to be talking about that, and I'm going to be doing muscle testing on volunteers from the audience to show them exactly what their thoughts and words, how it affects their energy in their body and can impact their health.
Has there been anything of its kind here locally? I've been thinking in my mind. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do muscle testing as well, but little different than, so she's testing for energy, emotion, which I do as well, but my focus primarily outside of chiropractic is nutrition response testing, which uses applied kinesiology and muscle testing as well to kind of determine what areas of the body are not functioning correctly. It is a different type of testing, but there are doctors, mostly chiropractors, energy practitioners that do it. It's not a medical doctor type of technique,
Right.
but it's usually more for someone who's in the wellness arena, natural health, natural healing arena, which we are. So,
Yeah.
but you have to know the technique to be able to find the practitioner. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
but I, as far as I know, I don't think there's been an event like this in the Aurora area. Yeah,
I don't think so either.
I think
Yeah.
I've never seen one. There could have been that I haven't seen, but yeah, this is going to be
One of a kind.
one of a kind, and we've got great vendors, a great facility to have it at.
It is so
The
you
fire
can be
museum.
in the bottom part with
we'll
the
be upstairs.
upstairs.
Mhm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
rows.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
theater
Theater seating.
Yeah.
They got all the badges or patches on the
Oh,
wall.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great venue.
Yeah,
It's a great
absolutely.
Everybody watching this is like, you got to be there now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Brian is the coordinator there for the Aurora Fire Museum, and he's been a great help. So thank you, Brian.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Brian.
So I want to read the schedule of events. So from 9 to 9:30 a.m. we'll have open networking, refreshments, and vendor shopping. 9:30 to 9:45 will be Jessica Barna, program start and introduction. I think we've got Jessica.
Jessica's our MC, our
Okay.
host. Yeah, she's a wonderful woman, and she's going to be announcing and telling people what's going on, and
Kind
Awesome.
of guiding the event.
yeah, guiding
Yeah.
the event.
Okay. And then Jill Cooke, Reinvent Yourself Through Neuroplasticity. That begins from 9:45 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. And then Dr. Oki is after that, 10:30 to 11. And then Jan is after 11:15, 11:45. And then there's networking, refreshments, and vendor shopping at the end. So let's talk about some of the vendors. Who are these great vendors that
So we
have?
have some wonderful vendors, and we handpicked
Yes,
these
we did.
vendors. We didn't want anybody's product or service to cross over from somebody else. So we went
Right.
through women that we know that have businesses, and these are all small businesses.
Right.
That's another thing. We want to support the small businesses. So we handpick different services and products that enhance women's life, their health, their happiness. And so we have the one I always think about is Jen Bagayski, and she's the founder of the Freedom Keys. And Jen is all about women feeling, recognizing, and acknowledging their sensual side, their feminine side, their, to feel it and give yourself the power as a woman to enjoy being a woman.
Right.
And so she's got several books that she's written. She'll have those there. She's a wonderful woman. All these women involved in this fair, they're just amazing women that have worked hard to get their businesses going and really care about women's health and happiness. And it's all holistic. It's all holistic. But if anybody else wants to talk about
I want to talk about Annie Kinsley. So Annie
Right.
Kinsley with State Farm. She has such a wonderful story. She was working for another agent for a while and ended up just about 2 years ago now. I think she's got her own office now. She's very active in the community, and so we wanted to connect with her because she is just an amazing woman. Maria Siwa, she has a candle company. It's I'm going to butcher this, I know.
You don't have to. I think I got the name.
Aromai, but is I am more spelled backwards.
Oh.
is that what it
I
That's
see
what
it
it
now.
is. Yeah,
I see
it's
it
I
now.
am more spelled backwards, and she started this during the pandemic. It's her side hustle during the pandemic. She was struggling just as everybody else was with the stress of it all, and just wanted to find something just for her to be able to share with family and friends. So she started dabbling in candles and trying to learn how to make them, and working with different scents. And she decided, I want to kind of play around with this. And so she turned it into a business. So she's got candles. She has wicking oil. She has scrunchies, and but it's a great story, and that's another thing that we love. Is we love the stories behind the business.
Absolutely.
Nidhi, she has Earth Karma. She has a fantastic story. She originally, I believe, is from India. Is that right? She's from India, and her family wanted her to become a doctor, I believe, but that wasn't her passion. And so she just was kind of struggling with who she was and what she wanted to do. And she started getting in touch with these jewelers that were selling these stones. So she became interested in these earth stones and was selling them to designers. But she's like, wait a minute, I could do that.
Right.
So she's like, why don't I start making jewelry? So she started making these gorgeous moonstone necklaces and earrings.
Her stuff
and
is beautiful.
her stuff is beautiful. And her dream was always to come to America, to be able to live here. And she married a man who was an engineer that got assigned a position here in, I want to say,
They
it was
traveled.
Georgia.
They moved several
Yeah.
places throughout the U.S.
I
too.
believe it was at Atlanta. And so she ended up coming to the States, but then ended up having to move back to India. So they came back and forth, and she's here now. So that just a few of my favorites. And Jill, I'll let you share some of the others.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. We have got Carmen Flores, and she sells a unique product for women and femininity. It's actually camisoles. Camis, which get rid of the discomfort of bras that are just constricting and pulling, and
no underwires.
no
No
underwires. And when
underwires.
you like to put her products on, and they feel good. And when
I
you
actually
take
have
them
mine
off,
on today.
Yeah,
when you
Ruby Ribbon is
Ruby
the
Ribbon,
company.
and when you take them off,
Like
you
that
don't
name.
have you don't have the lines in your body or the
The
discomfort.
straps don't fall.
Right. Exactly, all day long. Who else do we have? Help me out here.
Oh, well, we have,
we have,
Cindy Schroba
Cindy Schroba.
Oh my
for
gosh.
thermography, Illinois thermography. And
Speaking of the girls, right?
yes,
Yes.
the girls, it's instead of mammograms, it's a safer way to look into the breast to see what's going on within the breast. And so she schedules doing thermography. She goes to different chiropractor offices.
I'm
And
one of the ones
yeah,
on the
you're
list.
one of them. And she also does microgreens. She and her husband grow microgreens.
Oh, wow.
And so they have a business. They sell microgreens to a lot of the restaurants in Aurora.
Good to
She
know.
does
Yeah.
delivery
Good to know.
every Friday. She and her husband deliver homegrown microgreens to I don't know how many
So
restaurants
cool.
in downtown Aurora, throughout these areas of Oswego and yeah. So and they have honeybees. So the honey is coming up pretty soon. I saw her the
Yes.
other day, and I go, "When's the honey gonna be ready?" She goes, "It's in the hives."
Oh,
We
she's
got-
the best, honey.
So yeah, so they she and her husband have a great company going businesses, but she'll be talking about thermography,
Okay.
the benefits of it.
There's also a couple more. Arlene Santiago.
She helps
transformation
people release body aches and pains in their joints,
Mhm.
unexplained, undiagnosed. She's all about women's health.
She does. She has an online health program. She does exercise. She talks
Yeah.
about nutrition. And then we also have Megan Holly. So Megan Holly is a photographer.
Branding
Gotta have
photographer.
one of
Branding
those.
photographer, yes, branding photographer, and she is amazing.
Little powerhouse.
She
Yeah, she
she takes your photo, and one of the reasons that I love her is when you're looking at one of her photos, it's you can feel the essence of the person that you're looking at, and it makes you want to be their friend.
Right.
It's like you want to do business with that person because you can see the fun and the light and the
Passion.
niceness, the passion of that person. I love her. Megan Holly is
Yeah,
amazing.
she's our she is sponsoring for our bagels.
Yes.
Yeah, so she'll be we have Java Plus
Java Plus is
as our
also
sponsor for coffee.
Great business.
And
Javier
that's right
Burgos,
behind
the
Daniel
hospital.
Kanowski, the
Yeah.
whole team.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Caroline Cervini and
Deborah.
Deborah
Severs.
Severs. Deborah Severs will also be. She's making gluten-free cookies
Mm.
that'll be handed out for free.
Y'all making me hungry.
Yeah.
Herself.
Like,
Doodles.
we need
Doodles,
cookies.
Yes.
Doodles cookies, and we've got quite a few on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
We
What are
have
you missing?
Don't want to miss anyone.
Carla Ordaz, Crunchy. we talked
Carla
about Crunchy.
Ordaz,
Crunchy.
Crunchy
Yes.
Cosmetics.
Crunchy
Yeah, that's all
Cosmetics.
natural cosmetics.
And then I think.
Did we
hang on
get
a
everybody?
second. I think that was everybody on this list. Yeah.
And of course, Jessica Barna, she's got her own business consulting firm. So she was kind enough to, be our host and MC for the
Yeah.
day.
And all of our vendors are on the Eventbrite link.
Mhm.
And if you click their names, it'll take you directly to their websites.
Yeah, we couldn't do this without our vendors and
Gosh, no.
sponsors.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Got a question.
Uh-huh.
Got a question. I guess it's more opinion based, but I want to see what you ladies think about this as being professionals. Is a person's self-esteem, we're talking about women here, is self-esteem affected as well by these issues that we're talking about? The lack of, your job and not being appreciated, perhaps,
Mhm.
or the struggles that you may be going through at home. All of those things, can they affect a person's self-esteem and sometimes be the hinder or the barrier from them living that productive life or feeling a lot more productive? I hope I didn't massacre that, but what do you ladies think?
Absolutely. And I think each one of us can help with a different topic, right? So in my case, when a person isn't feeling well, if they're in pain, back pain, neck pain, if they're struggling with a health issue, they're going to see their doctor, all their test results are coming back normal, right? But they don't feel well, right? So it's going to affect their children, the relationship with their children. It's going to affect the relationship with their husband or work, right? Having to sit all day if they have to sit and they're in pain. So I have that ability to be able to help them get out of pain so that they can get back to doing the things that they love, spending time with their kids, their husband, being active. Because when you're in pain and you don't feel well, you're not going to be able to do that, right? So then Jill has the ability to help with the mental aspect.
Neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity, but hearing you talk, I'm currently dealing with 2 herniated discs and a bulging disc. So it's exercising my mindset and muscle, because I'm actually going to refuse to get the surgery that's being recommended. I'm going to heal this myself. And I can wake up and I can think of how bad this hurts, and it's going to hurt all day. Or I can sit and I can actually visualize the strengthening of the muscles, the realignment, and it's working for me. And there's stories like you would not believe of people actually healing themselves with just what they tell themselves.
Right.
Oki is 100% right, is when you're in pain, you will not function correctly, because I've been in a lot of pain the past couple of months, and I promise you, I've not been hitting on all cylinders. I should have had a list of our vendors printed out when I got here today. I didn't have it because I'm not operating 100%, but I am winning the fight. I am winning the fight with my own mindset. And all three of us are parts of the whole. Right? She's the body, she's the physical. I teach you how to take control of your thoughts, and then Jan takes over from there and tells you what to do once you get that power of taking your thoughts. You have to know you have the power before you can use it. I teach you to find that power, and then Jan teaches you what to do with that.
Yeah, so, most of my clients, 99% of my clients are women, and it does come down to their self-esteem. They're not happy in their life. They're not doing exactly what they want to do. And most of the time, it's from childhood beliefs that they have about themselves. Who told them they're not good enough? Who told them you're never going to make enough money? Who told them you need to be married you need a man in your life in order to survive? So these women come to me because now most of them are, 50 years and older, and they're stuck. They're stuck. They don't believe they can have what they really, really desire because they have a belief that, you're not lovable. And so I work with them with the subconscious, going back to the subconscious, because the subconscious becomes very comfortable with that. And so now the subconscious has them attract those things, events, and people into their life to confirm and affirm their beliefs about themselves. So I work with them through EFT and energy medicine to break that down, get rid of it, and start to get a different perspective of themselves and go back into those events and those times where'd that belief originate from?
Right.
And let's change that.
How much of what we're talking about is either initiated by, started by, controlled by, or maybe even dominated by past traumas? The way we grew up. Right? Grandma said, but whatever the case may be, how much of that is influencing what we're talking about?
I'll answer to that. It's about 95%.
Mm-hmm.
Between pre-birth, the last trimester, and 7 years of age, your pathways are being written. Now, it's been that way since the beginning of time for safety reasons, because we had to remember that fire is hot, that tigers are dangerous. So our limbic system can fire. We get the adrenaline and the cortisol to respond to a fight, flight, or freeze situation. But we no longer live that way, but our brains still operate that way. So even though our operating systems were built by the age of 7, we're still going off that operating system. So 95% of what we feel, think, and do is subconscious, because that's the operating system through which our thoughts and experiences are going through. It's being processed through.
Right.
Up until the last 10, 15 years, we thought that's the way it is. Well, functional MRIs has proved different. And we all know that. We all know that now. And again, it's like, I can't believe it's taken us this long as a race, as a humanity, to realize that we have that power to do that. But we needed the technology to see that. Mm-hmm. But I would say 95%.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing is our personalities, our adult personalities are basically created from our past events, right? So if we have some sort of trauma, that trauma or that survivor mode helps us to become the people that we are today based on that event, right? So certain traumas are going to make us want to be or do something else. So it's being able to identify that, but then, to Jan's point with the emotional component of it, a lot of times that emotion can actually cause some certain illnesses.
Right.
So in my case, if I'm working on someone who has low back pain, We've done chiropractic. We've done physical therapy. We've checked to see if there's anything that is referring pain. So small or large intestines referring pain. All of that is good. 9 times out of 10, there's an emotional component to that. So it's if you can imagine, like, say we're up here speaking, right? You get a little butterflies in your stomach, right? So that's a physical, an external situation causing physical reaction. So the interviewing process is causing butterflies in our stomach, right?
You don't have butterflies.
No,
No, I don't.
totally comfortable.
Not anymore.
No, not
But
since we talked to you.
Yeah,
right, right.
I didn't know.
Right.
Sorry.
So that emotion can be huge, right? Whether you're going through a divorce or whether you're struggling with a child, or that stress can affect that pain. So you have to be able to identify what that emotion is and then find a way to clear it. So Jan and I both have tools that we can use to be able to help to determine, is that an emotion that's causing the pain, or is it something really physical that's causing the pain?
Right.
So before we started, before we turned the camera on, you ladies will remember that I share with you a little bit of like my background story, working, you know, factory jobs and you know, the Navy and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's never been lost on me in my youth and young years that the women in some of these companies and places where I was working for definitely didn't have it anywhere near as not good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there was definitely 2 different ways of interacting, treating them as opposed to us and that kind of thing. So that's why I asked that question, because I know, like, I've seen it and thought, like, yeah, that's got to be pretty demeaning. It's got to be really demeaning to be here at 6 o'clock in the morning, required to wear steel boots, and then get like catcalled, right? In the same lineup where we're all lined up, wearing the same uniform. Yeah, that's got to be pretty. That's got to feel really stupid. How does she feel when she goes home, right? That's got to be really demeaning. And now, that's, like we talked about, it's the essence of doing this kind of stuff and trying to spread this word, because I think people need to start living better.
I think
A
lot of times we,
Now we're good.
as business owners, like I started from the ground up myself, and it's like you never get away from wanting to do it yourself.
Right.
It's like you always feel bad
Asking
delegating,
somebody
you know?
Yeah.
But that's where you become successful, is being
Definitely
able
a
to
mindset
delegate.
shift.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
But
And to keep growing.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. So, and as we talked about, want to just talk on each of your own specific presentations one more time. Then we're going to let folks know about the event, date, time, and everything, how they can purchase tickets or register online. Got the link, and that'll be in the description. So we'll start with the power of thoughts and words. Okay. I was telling the staff here about working and jobs and things, and I was letting them know that me, for example, I told you about the Neighbor Project. I was a volunteer before I became an employee. So I'm thankful for the work that I do. Housing, helping people. And when people ask me what I do, I work for Neighbor Project. I tell them that I represent the Neighbor Project as the outreach and volunteer coordinator. You know, I'm a member of Compañeros en Salud. I represent Compañeros en Salud. I don't just work here, right?
Right.
So I tried, I let them know that, like, when you find that passion and that thing, you'll be able to fully, assert what you do proudly. You know, you're no longer just working. I don't just work here, right? I represent that for me and for the staff too. That goes a long way to give us that self-pride, make us feel better, make us smile and stand up straight and meet people and be happy when we meet them, because our thoughts and our words are aligned and they're strong. What do you feel about that, and how can others start doing that for themselves?
Well, it's true. The thoughts and words, everything carries a vibration. So as I'm becoming so much more aware of my thoughts, like if my thoughts start going down the tube, down that rabbit hole, like, my God, you suck. What's wrong with you? You did that wrong. I catch myself now immediately and say, hey, you didn't know any better. You're doing the best you can. You know, show myself some compassion. Like this, you're learning, you're growing. So I'm becoming much more aware and really be aware of those thoughts and words. I just heard somebody say the other day, which is a habit I have to get out of, I'm working on, that chocolate's to die for. No.
Certainly not chocolate.
No.
Yeah. One Snickers? No. Certainly
No.
not.
But we say it because we are creatures of habit and we live reflected lives. So we hear other people say that time and time and time again. All of a sudden it just comes out of our mouth naturally. So that is not a good thing to say over and over, because again, your subconscious takes everything literally. So with the power of our words and thoughts, if we continue to think more positively and be nicer to ourselves when we look in the mirror, like, wow, usually you look, I remember those days, you look like crap, you're fat, you're this, you're that. No, be nicer to ourselves, show ourselves compassion, especially as women, because we can beat ourselves up so badly. And so think about the words and thoughts. My tagline is, and I truly believe it, that when we change our energy, we change our life.
Yeah,
and if you want your life to change, it is mandatory to start changing your thoughts and change the words you use. And it's a practice. It's all a practice because we are trained, like Jill says, from childhood.
Right.
We are trained. So it's a practice. And if you don't get it right away, you're working at it. You're a work in progress. You just be nice to yourself and say, holy crap, am I glad I caught that? I'm going to shift that immediately because it is true. If we change our energy, we will change our life.
Jill, what's one thing a person can do each day to reinvent themselves?
Oh, I love that question.
Through neuroplasticity.
I love that question. Thank you. I will say one thing before I answer it, though. When Jen said the word practice, what we need people to know is that this is not a quick fix and you'll never be done. This is going to be something that you'll be working on the rest of your life. Okay, your subconscious is 95% of your brain, so we have 5% power over that, but we have that power. One thing we can do, I can give you 100,000 things you can do, but the very first thing you should do, and this is what I do every morning, is I wake up and the first thing I do is I think of 3 random things I am grateful for. And it doesn't have to be grand. I'll give you an example. We're in the process of moving right now. So when you're moving, you make bad choices like fast food. So I made a fast food choice that night. I did gratitude that night. I'm grateful for digestion because now I can get another chance to make this right tomorrow.
Right.
So I'm grateful for digestion. On the other end of that spectrum, with the back pain I've been talking to you about, I'm grateful right now because I had the MRI. I'm grateful that I know what's wrong. I'm grateful that I have access to get the MRI. I'm also grateful that I don't have sharp shooting pains down my legs indicating nerve pain. I'm grateful for the pain that I've got because it's not worse than that. So it can be as small as a good night's sleep. I'm grateful that my husband mowed the grass. I'm grateful I'm only in X amount of pain, not debilitated, So 100%, when you wake up in the morning, quick and easy, 3 things I'm grateful for, or do it at night. And in the morning, 3 things I want to do today, and visualize what you want to do. We are who we tell ourselves we are, but who's telling us who we are is our subconscious, and we're on autopilot, taking control of those thoughts. And Oki and I are in a program right now together, which is teaching us how to do that. Stimulation comes in, stimuli, environmental messages come in, and it goes to the default. We have the power to stop it right here and rewrite that. So start your day with either gratitude and intention, end your day the same way. Stay above the water, even if it's just as much, get above. And every day, practice. And every day you'll get a little bit higher. Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that. Okay. And Dr. Oki, women healing women. What's, everybody in their life, every woman knows another woman what's something that they can do to help their fellow woman? Just a small thing that they can do.
Well, women, I think, like I said earlier, we're always taking care of somebody else instead of taking care of us. But we have to put the mask on first to be able to continue to take care of the people that we love. So getting to the root cause of the ill health, whether it's pain, whether it's issues with digestion, these are all things that are fixable so that you don't have to be in pain and you don't have to struggle and you don't have to suffer. We can help take care of that. So the presentation is going to be about that, making sure that you're taking care of yourself so that you could be healthy and happy. And women see that sometimes as being selfish, not taking care of themselves because they have to take care of all these other people, but it's not selfish. We have to take care of ourselves first so that we can do the things that we love. And sometimes that's taking care of our family, right? Right. So women, that's what we do. We're caretakers, caregivers, but we don't always take care of ourselves. So ladies, don't be selfish.
Right.
Or no, you want to be selfish. Sorry. You have to be selfish. You have to be selfish to be able to take care of yourself. So
assert your self-help.
Yes.
Assert your self-help. Okay. Well, as mentioned, the date and time for the event is going to be Saturday, June 17th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Aurora Regional Fire Museum right downtown on New York and Broadway. It's a great place, a fantastic location. Shout out to Brian Failing for securing and helping ladies with the event and all of the great sponsors. Once again, thank you very much to Annie Kinsley as well for putting us together. Gotta shout out Annie.
Annie is awesome.
Yeah, this was a very
Annie from State Farm.
Yeah, Annie from State Farm, 2590 Ogden Avenue, help you with anything insurance related. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
So here's the thing that's different about this interview today for me. In all the 3 years I've been interviewing folks, you ladies are the very first to really even, people ask me how the show got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not many people ask me what the convergence of perhaps my own life story and faith played in where we are today in doing this. And I think, because my dad just passed away recently too.
Oh.
So now my mornings are not the same. And if you gather from our earlier conversation, right, my mornings have been my thing since, the beginning of my professional work career. For years now, it's kind of been my trademark and calling card to be able, I wake up with a happy disposition. I do my thing, and I'm most productive in the morning times. I stopped saying that I'm just a worker. I started saying that being proud of what I do and represent. So, since he passed away, I've had to climb back on the horse emotionally and mentally and indeed spiritually. So I haven't had people ask me that too, right? I haven't had people pull on the thread what's the rest of the story? So
there's always more to the story.
There is.
And there's always, my belief is that when we connect to our heart and connect to our soul on a daily basis, and just put your hand on your heart, because your brain goes to what you touch, what you feel. And if you just put your hand on your heart on a daily basis, and that'll help you connect to your soul and just be silent.
Yeah.
And be with your thought and think about your dad and connect to your heart. And, that heart-brain coherence, the tests through HeartMath Institute have proven that if you connect your brain to your heart and go into heart-brain coherence 3 minutes a day, which is not anything.
Right.
That'll improve your immune system. It increases your creativity. It just has so many benefits to it. And that goes into that spiritual side. Like, think of your dad and connect to your heart and connect to your soul and get the thoughts to your heart and just do that for 3 minutes a day. And that the feeling of gratitude in your heart, because the heart has no polarity. It's all love and gratitude. So if you feel that, that expands out and it's good for the world. It's good for the people around you. And that just keeps going out, out, out. So yeah, connecting to the soul and the heart when you think about somebody that you love.
Yeah,
is a great way to start your day.
Yeah, I appreciate it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it actually, I never feel like I'm just conducting any old interview at all. But today, definitely, I feel better.
Yeah.
I feel better. Like, you ladies are real special. Because I was here doing my thing, right? How many SIM cards do I got? Batteries, blah, blah, blah. Clean the lens. I'm going through the motions.
But that's what you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's why
And then we start talking about
I appreciate
spirituality with you.
I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, you have a wonderful story as
You
well.
have a great
and
story.
I personally love to learn how people got to where they are, what motivated them, and you have a wonderful story, and I think you should absolutely share that, whether it's in a movie one day. I
we can
think,
be like
I
cameos
think,
in this movie.
yeah, I think
Oh, you'll be in
that's.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be the start of it,
Yeah.
right?
I think
I'll
we
make sure
should-
you ladies get some tickets to the red carpet. I'll
Yes.
handle that for you.
Yeah, and I think
You
we
should definitely share your story.
find a local
Curtis.
young man from Aurora to play you.
I appreciate
There's a
that.
lot
Well,
of
maybe your son.
talented-
How old's your son?
He's 10. Yeah.
Okay,
By the
that's
time
a
we
little
get
too
ready,
young, but
Yeah.
by the time we're ready
Yeah.
to shoot,
There's
he'll
a
be older
lot
than
That
of
would be awesome.
talented
Yeah.
people in Aurora.
Yeah.
do
That would be a
it.
blessing. That'd be a blessing.
Yes.
us.
So,
With the pyramid.
ladies and gentlemen, you guys will also have the link in the description
Mhm.
to this Eventbrite to purchase tickets and come on out to the event. Once again, don't forget this is going to be the Women's Health and Happiness Fair, a holistic event for mind, body, and spirit, sharing elements of mind and body care, including physical health, relaxation techniques, and mindset improvement. June 17th is the day.
Yep.
And we look forward to sharing this event.
Yeah, and the sponsors are the ones that made it possible for the event to be free. So
Sponsors and vendors.
sponsors
yeah.
and vendors allowed us to have the event for free. So, but
Yep.
you do have to register.
Thank you very much to all the sponsors and the vendors. So please register. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great interview. I
We've had a
appreciate-
great time.
Yes, thank you so
ser-
much.
Same,
Yes.
right? I appreciate Jan Hamning and Jill Cooke and Dr. Oki-Villareal Borowski. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy this interview at your leisure. Take care of yourself and each other.
Thanks.
Thank you.